Over the last several weeks, we've brought to you interviews with a UFO whistleblower, a director who spoke with dozens of officials about possible secret government programs. And tonight, Bret Baier takes a closer look at some of those claims and speaks with a UAP researcher about what they are calling a government cover-up.
Thanks, Aisha. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle and other government officials believe they should know more about unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. Tonight we look at reports on some of the secret government programs that are being alleged.
This is so secret. There have been very few people in our entire government that have been allowed or provided access to it.
A new documentary featuring former and current officials from across the federal government is attempting to connect the dots on secret knowledge of UAPs.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
CIA officials, DIA officials, naval intelligence officials, the list goes on and on.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
One-star admiral after 32 years of service.
Former Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet served as the Navy's chief oceanographer and meteorologist, and as acting administrator of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Why'd you take part in that? And of the voices in there, are you convinced that these are credible folks that are really coming forward for the first time?
All those folks are credible, Bret. They're all colleagues of mine. I've worked with them for years. This is going to change the arc of human history. The fact that we're not alone in the universe and that higher order non-human intelligences are visiting us and interacting with us, whose intent we really are unsure of still. That's just mind-blowing.
Not everyone is convinced by the film. The New York Times writes the claims are unprovable, and Variety calls it inconclusive. For us to be comfortable doing stories about it, we have to believe that these documents and these experts that we're talking to are telling us the right thing. How do you think the country, the world, will react when, if this happens, it's disclosed?
You have a slow process of information coming out of government, mostly from Congress, from intelligence community officials who've retired. And what we're seeing is that despite the amount of coverage on this, there isn't a lot of pickup on it in media, and people aren't really absorbing the significance of it.
Anthropologist Peter Skafish is co-founder and director of research at the Solve Foundation, a group that helps fund research into UAPs. Skafish interviews and conducts field work with witnesses.
I've had a lot of conversations with retired intelligence community people who have more or less verified this stuff to me directly.
How many people know this?
This has been an 8-decade cover-up. The total list has to amount to 100 or more.
Presidents have access to all classified information, but it's unlikely the commander-in-chief reviews everything on any specific subject. Officials estimate there are billions of classified documents in existence, and as many as 50 million classified records are added every year.
Various presidents have been told, but many have not been told.
Retired Colonel Karl Knell was the Army director for supporting the UAP task force. Why would a president not be told?
There was a feeling that elected officials might not be sophisticated or intellectual enough to deal with that kind of complexity.
The Solve Foundation alleges in a report the Eisenhower administration issued a directive giving UFO decision-making the same status as nuclear war powers.
A man whom I trust from the Air Force has said that it was, as far as he knew, it was completely inaccurate to believe that they came from any outside or planet or otherwise.
The presidents, who have asked for briefings on UAPs, say they have not learned of any suspected cover-ups.
So far as I know, they're not hiding information.
It's never been my thing, I have to be honest. I have never been a believer.
Knell believes presidents could be uninformed because he says private companies oversee the programs.
Eisenhower administration may have allowed this to slip out of elected official control into an unelected body that would manage these programs.
You understand the skeptics, right? The people who say this is complete BS. This can't be true. You understand where they're coming from, that there's nothing to show besides the, these videos and the testimony. But for them, they haven't seen it in person.
Sure.
To confirm it.
100%, Bret. Yeah, we want that smoking gun. We want the evidence, the data. And I mean, the most I have knowledge of, though, that was convincing to me is I saw the classified videos that have since been declassified taken by Navy F-18 aircraft.
In 2015, Gallaudet was commanding personnel during a naval exercise off the East Coast when he received an email warning of near mid-air collisions. Attached was a video of the suspected threat. Gallaudet says the next day the email disappeared from his account. The Pentagon would eventually declassify the video more than 5 years later.
The Navy is sitting on a trove of UAP video data that they're not releasing.
That video and others prompted lawmakers to call for more transparency. Congress has requested reports from the Defense Department on sightings, and in each document, investigators found no links to extraterrestrial sources.
We take all incursions into our operating spaces seriously.
The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office is the government's current group looking into UAPs. Its findings have been consistent with past Pentagon investigations.
To date, AARO has found no verifiable evidence for claims that the U.S. government or private companies have access to or have been reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology.
Some former officials claim the U.S. government does have evidence.
We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
Somewhere in this country, there are craft that are being held that have landed here or crashed here, and there are biologics, non-human bodies.
That's correct.
Someplace in this country?
Someplace.
In this program?
Correct.
The AARO has acknowledged an effort to create a UAP recovery program called Kona Blue, but says it was later canceled because it lacked merit, that no extraterrestrial craft or non-human entities were ever collected.
Knowing what you know, is it conceivable there could be a government program that you don't know about?
I think it's conceivable that there are government programs that we don't know about.
Democratic Arizona Senator Mark Kelly logged more than 5,000 flying hours during his time in the Navy and spent more than 50 days in outer space as a shuttle pilot.
Has anything happened in space or at the International Space Station that might signal that there's alien life out there?
So I have made 4 trips to the space station, all about 2 weeks in length, over a decade. And I have no personal experience with this. I have 54 days in space, which might sound like a lot. My twin brother, 520 days in space. People often look at him and say, hey, you must have seen something in all that time you've spent in space. And the answer is the same as the answer for me. Haven't seen anything that indicates anything visiting, our planet.
Obviously, there's a lot of interest in these stories. Some people call it crazy, but these reports are happening. We'll continue to follow the UAP stories as more information comes to light.